This week's video is all about how to design your garden from scratch. So here you are, you've got a new house and a new garden, but not a lot in it. So what do we do and how do we go about starting to design our garden? Well, first of all, don't go out and start buying gardening magazines or looking into garden design books. You're starting your garden, and it's not going to help you much if the only images you're looking at are images of gardeners that have been created by expert gardeners that have cost thousands of pounds. So what are we trying to do? Well, we're starting a garden from scratch. So all you really need to think about right now is we need to have a place to sit. We need to have a means to get to that place where we're going to sit. And most importantly, once we're sitting there, we want to have something nice to look at. All the advice we give at PlantPlots is designed to be very simple, practical advice. And it's based on 3 principles. Firstly, that most of you who are going to be doing the garden aren't really expert gardeners. That you won't be employing somebody to do the work for you. And lastly, we haven't got thousands of pounds to spend creating a garden. The starting point for any garden design is to really work out where you would like to sit. Where are the nicest places to sit in the morning, and where's the best places to sit in the afternoon and the evening. The next step is to take a sketch of the garden. I've used one of the sketchbook drawing apps on my iPad here, but what it means is it enables you to be able to roughly sketch out shapes of your paths and your patios and your lawns, and we can try again until we get something that looks right. It's more important to do the big shapes first. Those are the things that you're going to notice most, so you'll need to play around with their sizes until you get something that you're happy with. The second step is to decide how we're going to get to the places where we want to sit. Now, in the example of our garden here, the main patio is right by the house, so clearly we don't need a path to get there. This small seating area won't be heavily used, so we can just simply use the lawn to get here. But any main patio that you need to get to, you will need to put in a proper path. Once we've drawn in the big shapes, the paths, the patios and the lawn, you'll probably find that many of your borders will be quite funny shaped or odd sizes, but this isn't really going to be a problem. Plants are really good at hiding those odd shapes. So now that we've got the shape of our lawn sorted out and the shape and the size of our seating areas, we can look at the rest of the garden. But what about here though? It doesn't really fit with the design. The nice straight path and the manhole cover. What are we going to do about things we can't actually change? Well, the most useful tool that we have in garden design is actually to hide something in plain sight. Okay, so let's take this shed. It's pretty big, it's pretty ugly, so we need to try and find a way of hiding it. So all that means, hiding in plain sight means, is that we're creating something nicer to look at so we don't notice the shed behind. Great, so we now know where we're going to sit and we know how we're going to get there. The next step is to create something nice for us to look at. So we need to understand what actually captures our attention in the garden. And the best way to do that is to walk out in your back garden and shut your eyes. Then open them again and see what's the first thing your eyes look at. So if what caught your attention is good, we can use that as a focal point. But if it's not, we need to change it and make something better to look at. Back to our garden though, and this time the view's from the end of the garden looking back to the house. And what do we see? Well, all the lines seem to be very vertical, which just seems to draw your eyes upwards and make us look at the roof. So we need to find a way that holds our attention here. So how do we go about that? What are we actually trying to do? Well, from this end of the garden, we need to stop looking at the roof. We've got to find a way to keep our interest in the garden. And then from our main seating area, all we seem to look at the moment are straight lines and fences, so we've got to find a way to improve that. To hold our attention in the garden, a really good way is to build a pergola. The roof of the pergola stops you looking upwards, and once the plants have grown over, it will keep your focus in your garden. Then we add stuff that says look at me instead. Bright, bold colours that catch your eye and catch your attention. Small gardens have lots of fences, so what can we do to minimise their impact? So we need to understand how the human brain and the human eye works. And our eyes are programmed to follow straight lines. So if we want to make the fences disappear and seem less important, we have to break up those straight lines. We're also programmed to watch anything that moves. So your garden needs to have plants that dance in the wind. So creating a garden design that works really is only ever about emphasising the good points and hiding the bad points. Gardening takes time, and gardens will evolve and change over time. So don't worry that you haven't got everything sorted right at the outset. You're starting the garden, you're not finishing the garden.